So, guys, there is bloodbaths in the market today, most especially the banking sector. I just want to share some words of encouragement just in case you look at a portfolio and it's not looking as you thought it's going to be. Um, Take heart, um, the markets will bounce back. And if you did not sell, take heart too. If you sold, good. If you did not sell, there will be another opportunity for you to sell. So for us in the premium group, we're calm because we already know how to navigate situations like this. But in the public group, a lot of questions, a lot of people want to know what to do and all that. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. I kid you not, the best trade is no trade. But it now boils down to a lot of things I do talk about when building portfolio. So how will you have 5 banking stock in your portfolio? Why on earth will you do that? I always emphasize on it. In a sector, you only need 1 stock. So imagine those that have 7 banking stocks. What are you going to do? Your portfolio will go down, like you look at it and you said, what have I done? And the so-called dividends that make you to load all those banks is now nothing to write home about. So if you stick to the end, I will show you how to get out of this mess. And I'll show you what to do, and I'll also give you insight so that such will not repeat itself. Because it's going to happen again. So you just have to know what to do. This time around, it might be in another sector. So get set and get prepared. So guys, that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, I just want to congratulate every one of us. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. And because of this milestone that we've hit, I'm going to do a video where I'll show you how to start trading with zero capital. That is 0 to millions. That is what I'll do. I'll do a video on that, and by the time we hit 1.5, I'll do another video on how to turn 1 million to 32 million naira in a year. And if you are smart, you'll turn into 64 million in 5 years. I beg your pardon. I know in a year you're like, wow, it's 5 years. I don't want to put you on that pressure. But if you are aggressive and you know how to trade and you can look at the market from morning till afternoon, excellent. You can give yourself, I want to do 100% in 3 months. So if you do that, the second year, you should hit your 64 million. But I don't want you to do that because it will cause you a lot of mental stress, puts you under pressure and under tension also. So don't do that, but just follow what I'm teaching and able to get what I want. So we'll celebrate our 1K subscribers, and I believe with that video, it will be like an hour long so that you're able to digest. And it's actually designed for those who are just coming up, maybe 100, 200K. Maybe your salary is 100K, 50K, 200, 150K. You want to see how you can build it in short time, because actually your success is not in your job. A lot of people thought they are doing their job. Say, for how much that they are paying me, you want me to do this? I said, you stay in that place then, work for long. Until you start to see that your prosperity is inside you. So it's this little thing that you can use to actually make money. Somebody was sharing how you can use 1 keke to buy 30 keke. I was just laughing, but there's reality in it. So by the time you buy 1 keke for 4 million, you now make 10,000 a day. 10,000 a day in a month is 300,000, and in a year is 3 million. That's 3.6. And the next year you've gotten your keke. That you've gotten another one. Now we are talking about 20,000 naira a day. So, but this time around, the person suggested that you buy cow. So if you can buy 2 cows with that money in a year or 2. So that's just by the way. So what we want to look at today is very simple. The all share index actually didn't shake much as expected, but let's look at some few informations. So guys, this is the core thing that actually caused the market to bleed. This is the circular, guys. They released it on the 13th. That's temporary suspension of dividend payments, bonuses, and investment in foreign subsidiaries. So this singular PDF actually crashed the banking sector, and a lot of stocks actually felt it also. because when some people have to sell some of their other stocks to average down on the banking stock. But the question you want to ask, are we going to keep going down, or this is actually a buying opportunity, or is this a falling knife? So this is what I want to share and also update you guys in this current video. So let's just look at some few terms to learn before we go to the chart to see how we are going to respond to this kind of situation. So the regulatory forbearance, let's check the meaning in the banking. So forbearance refers to a temporary reduction or postponement of payments, such as for loans or mortgages, usually introduced to give temporary relief to individual and corporation, including financial institution. So during the COVID, you can see this one. This was March 2022. So this circular to all banks and other financial institutions. So regulatory forbearance for the restructuring of credit facilities impacted by COVID-19. So COVID-19 actually impacted some credit facilities, and CBN also gave these instructions, but it's actually different from these. So this one is the suspension based on the forbearance. They need a situation where our banks should be strong, because all these banks listed, they are holding a loan that is NPL, non-performing loan, close to $4 billion. So because of this money now, the banks are saying, don't pay dividends again, don't pay bonuses again, and don't invest in foreign subsidiaries. Keep all your profits until you're able to be financially healthy. So it's good for your bank, it's good for your investment. You don't want a situation where you hear that bank crash and you can't access your money. So that is why the CBN is doing all this. Because now that the economy is stabilizing, the CBN need to take this measure to ensure such thing does not happen. So that is why they are taking this measure, so that when the banks are spending money, paying dividends, the CBN want to be sure that they are not showing themselves that they actually have this money. So that is, I know some banks, it's maybe Zenith and Jitco, they will be able to raise this money and clear up their loan also. That would be also good. But I know other banks will be looking at measure to. So I'm not in particular of a bank, because I don't want to offend you. Maybe access you have, I'm not talking about access. Maybe you be, but if you watch to the end, I might offend you, because I just have to tell you the truth. In my heart, there are some losses you just have to realize, and there are some you have to pamper. So now I'm just telling you maybe this one, but towards the end I'll tell you guys, this is what you need to do if you really want to survive this market. So let's move on. And we've looked at the definition of regulatory forbearance. So let's look at it. Regulatory forbearance, CBN directs First Bank orders to suspend dividend payment and bonuses. So this will also impact, this has also impacted the market negatively. So the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed First Bank and others under regulatory forbearance to temporarily suspend dividend payments, defer bonuses for director, as well as halt investments in foreign subsidiaries or offshore ventures. So forbearance here, they give the definition to the temporary reduction of postponement of payments, such as for loan or mortgages, usually introduced to give temporary relief to individuals and corporations, including financial institutions, and curbed by financial strides. So these are just some few informations. I don't want the video to be around me reading all these things to you. So it's just that key point I want you guys to go with. So let's come to, okay, I've showed you guys this. This was actually done in 2022. So you can see, I just have to go and check to see any similar thing that has happened in the past. But this is just for circular to all banks and other financial institutions. This is during COVID. And of course, banks actually took this loan during this period too. So you don't have to get them mixed up. So let's look at some information I want to share with you guys. So the bottom line is that all banks that want to continue paying dividends must make full provision for their non-performing loans, that is NPL, which will invariably impact their profitability. As banks are recapitalizing, it is important that the fresh capital is used to clean up and improve the quality of their risk asset portfolio. So non-payment of dividends, bonus, and offshore investment obviously improves capital retention and should boost stock value. So with all this, you know that the stocks is going to get hit, and it will be a tough one for the stock. So these are the key points I want to share again. So suspension of payment of dividends to shareholders. This one is what actually scattered everything. Shareholders that are buying this banking stock because of dividends. So therefore, other stocks in other industries that are paying dividends, we actually get some volume from those that will be exiting this market. And for this banking sector, as you are leaving, question, who are those buying your shares? Some people will say they are the novice. They are not the novice per se. They also have their reason why they are buying it. So suspension of the payment of bonuses to directors and senior management staff. This will not be a good news. And that is why they need to take drastic steps to ensure that they actually see how they can get money and actually offset most of these things that make them to pay the debt. So refrain from making investment in foreign subsidiaries or new offshore. So no need to go and open new branch and all that when you know you are not too healthy. So the regulator noted that the temporary rules will be in force until few conditions were met, which include the entire exiting of regulatory forbearance before dividends and staff bonuses can be shared, and continental expansion can resume. Number two, the bank's capital adequacy and provisioning level are independently verified to be within acceptable regulatory standards. So these are the two conditions. So in case people are telling you buy this, come and look at these two conditions. So this is what they need to do. They need to what? To entirely exit the forbearance. So they need to clear up that is all these banks put together. They need to clear up the $4 billion. That is huge. You know, admit they have been paying this thing gradually and it's been in focus. I believe by now all this will not happen. So now that they've given this circular, you see a lot of planning, a lot of decision making. So question, are they still going to pay dividends? It's true. If they're able to clear up their debt before the interim dividends time, they are going to also pay their shareholders. But if they are not, they don't want to go against CBN. So guys, these are core informations I want to share with you guys, and I believe we are able to understand how to play this game. So CBN Forbearance, 6 Nigerian banks face risks of lower profits. Guys, this is how you need to play this game now, because the face of the banks face risks of lower profit and dividends tells us that a lot of people will actually move their money away from it. And guys, volume, a lot of people sold. So let's quickly jump to our chart. So this is the NGX Banking Index. So this index we use to track all the banking stocks to actually see how they are performing. So this trend line just give me a clue that I don't want this trend line to get broken. So if it happens, it will not be a good one for bank. So with this information now, you know, not everybody are fully aware of this information. It's only a few people. By tomorrow, a lot of people now understand this market. So we might witness further dip, which for some it will be a buying opportunity. But don't catch a falling knife, and ensure you have a strategy. So even though if you are buying every day is dipping, if you have a strategy, fine. But if you are just buying and somebody say you should buy, it's not a good way to do it. Now, this has to hold, and last time it happened here, that was 2024 October, touched this area, bounce back, and now we might see it touch this area also before the price will continue to go up. So this is the monthly chart. Let's quickly jump to a weekly chart so that the weekly chart can actually tell us what is going on in the market. So this is the weekly chart, and as you can see, we actually had a touch here, which was 2023 May. We had another touch here, which was June 2024. That's 3rd of June 2024. Then we have another one here. This one happened in September. Then this one almost touched but bounced back. Then we had this to dip here again, which is 2025. So we might not see what really happened in the market until we jump to the daily chart. So the daily chart will be able to give us what happened in the market. So this is the daily chart. So if you look at the daily chart, you see how this kind of follow the clip. This is a huge week that actually came down. You see, came down to this point. Assets was selling for 20 naira. This is assets selling for 20 naira, and you see jump back to 21 and also pull back. This is actually a good time for traders, but you have to be very, very smart. you are not smart, you'll be caught up in the game. And that is why I follow people carefully based on who you are. If I see that you are still learning, you're just coming to the market new, I want to introduce you to some certain things. Because if it's decide to go the other way, you think that's how it is. You know that the fault is from you. So sharp traders made money from the market. They bought and sold within the day and made cool 10%. But that being said, you see how it followed the clip, and despite the buying and all that, assets still around this area. That is to say, by today, when the market open, assets below 20, and you might get Jitco below 70, and all the banking stocks like that. You can see how they are dipping, how they are coming down. So this is the NGX index. So you can see how it dips, and I think if you are looking at the next support, which I'm expecting to see another news that will actually push this market up, because this news is not actually a good one. So from this, look at what happened here. So let me just take this off. So if this comes to this part, so we know that the other side has served as resistance, and that same area now serve as support once. So if this bleeding will continue, we want to see this candle here to come to this place to find support before bouncing back. And our trend line is still active, which tells us that the market is still bullish long term. So if you are buying anything, if you are doing any average down, you should know that you are doing it for long term. So don't do any short term trade in the banking stock, and you will not be you will not be happy with what you are going to see. So let's look at 4 hours chart so that we can see how the market dips. So this is 4 hour chart. This is 4 hour chart. So how the market dips to this point before shooting up. So it was crazy in the market, guys. You can't really tell. One thing I noticed in the market is a lot of people are giving themselves hope. You understand? Instead of you to face reality, to strategize. One strategy that you can do is to sell half of your portfolio. You sell half at the top price and you wait. Maybe in 2 3 days time you deploy back to average down your cost, or you leave it and look for fresh capital. If you don't have fresh capital, you sell everything. But if you do not sell, no need to sell again because you're already in. Just to look for money to average down. So these are some tips you want to use when you are trading. You don't want to misbehave and do anyhow. So you want to be sure you know what you're doing. So let's quickly look at these banks and see how they actually perform. Let's look at Access Corporation. So this is Access closed 2050. So look at what happened. Access got to this part. So this was actually massive. Let's go to daily chart. So let's see the daily chart. Let's see what is going on in daily chart. So as you can see, we've experienced this dip before, so this is not a new one. So don't be afraid. We are not coming back to the all-time low. So we are just watching to see how the market is doing. So it came down to this part, which was 2015 before shooting up to 2050. So sorry if you bought too high, if you bought around this area, so sorry. All you need to do is to average down, no cause for alarm. So let's see the possible area Access might hit if they are unable to pay this, because of course many people are buying all these stocks because of dividends. So if they are not paying dividends, why will you be there? So come to this part, it did. So if there is no, because from here we only had a little bit of support here. We might see a little bit of support here. If not, we might just be coming back to that 16 naira, and that area is another area to watch out for if you are trading this stock. So you don't just average down anyhow. You want to pay attention. You might come to this area, this 16, and this is a good time you want to average down. No need averaging down around this area, because by the time you average down, that's when you say you are tired. You have been buying the dip, and the dip is still dipping. So let's quickly check UBA. Let's see what UBA is doing. So this is UBA, and so this is UBA. We had a dip to this point. UBA was selling for 32, but UBA closed 34, only lost 5%. So and we see this area is critical. So if you see UBA below 30, that's another good point to load your UBA. So let's take this a little bit down. So we're looking at this area. We don't want to see this area. But if you come down here, I'm not sure if investor will allow you to drop to this point. But there's another liquidity here. So there's another liquidity here. So we need to pay attention around this place also. Another liquidity here. We need to pay attention here to see how the markets will go around this area. So guys, these are just some few tips I want to share with you guys. You're looking at this area and this area because $4 billion is not small, not a small money. Yes, I think we are right. Yes, actually $4 billion. So you can see everything that they have here. Zenith is $910 million. First Bank is $848 million. UBA $771 million. Access $535 million. Fidelity $555 million. FCMB $332 billion. And Jitco $60 million. I think Jitco might be able to sell to further. Jitco might be able to clear up their own because it's not actually much. That of Jitco is not actually much. So let's quickly look Jitco also and see what Jitco is doing. So if you understand, you see Jitco is holding strong. You can see Jitco is actually holding strong. Despite the fact that Jitco came to 67, it came to 67 and closed 71. So that's to tell you that it's because they have the ability to also clear up that debt because it's actually low. And then FCMB, I think it's not too low, so to speak, but it's a bit low. The highest is actually Zenith. So look at Zenith and see what they are doing. So Jitco did not actually face much effect because their own is not actually much. So if you are wise, you want to look at it that it's either I sell other of my banking stock and buy only Jitco. That's another strategy I said. If you wait till the end, I'll give to you. You sell other stock that you have and buy other banking stock so that you know that you are only exposed to one stock in the banking sector. So if Jitco decide to come and touch around this area again, just buy more and enjoy your ride. There is possibility that Jitco will pay dividends because $60 million is not a huge one for them. I think they should be able to do that. So let's look at Zenith. Let's look at so this is Zenith for you. So actually broke this support here, which is this area is 47.50. It's still around that area, so the price is still around that area, but it fall off the cliff and go to 45 before bouncing back. So we're looking at this area for Zenith. So Zenith can actually touch this area here because what they are holding is very, very high. So they might touch this area. Might even see I see Zenith coming down, but I think this area is fine. Though the money is huge, but of course they should have a way of paying up those debts. So that is Zenith for you. So which other bank are we looking at? We are looking at Fidelity. So Fidelity has been running on the leader. If you look at this area here, which serves as support, and that is where the price down settles. So during the market, it came down to 1740. And those who are in the market saw that opportunity. I'm very, very sure they must have taken that opportunity. So now the news will become clearer to a lot of people. So we'll see if the market will dip again or we'll see a bounce back. You understand? So we've done Jitco, we've done Access. Let's look at First Bank. Let's look at First Bank. So these are the list of banks we're looking. We've done Zenith, we've done UBA, we've looked at Access, we've looked at Fidelity, so we've looked at Jitco. So what we want to do is look at First Bank and FCMB. So let's quickly jump. So this is First Bank. This is massive. First Bank got to this part and now it hit 25. Currently it's at 16. So I think it should come to this area here. I think First Bank should come around this area. This is another area First Bank should touch. And First Bank cannot hold on to this place. We're seeing First Bank around this region. Can First Bank pay that? It's a bit tough. thought. But anyway, let's see what they will come up with. I know in a few weeks or months, we'll see another circular that may send the stock back up or send it to dip further. So the last one I want to look at is FCMB before we look at the all share index and see the performance so far. So this is FCMB. So this is FCMB. See the massive drop from double digits. FCMB came down to 925. So this is another area I want to pay attention to. Pay attention to this area here. This is the area you want to load. You want to load around this area, guys. So this is for FCMB. If you are interested, if you have it, you want to average down here. Everything I'm saying here is not a buy or sell recommendation. This is for entertainment purpose. I'm only encouraging those who are actually in it how to intervene when you bring intervention from how to actually intervene on all these things that are happening. So that at the end of the day, the market just bounced back a little bit, be up. For those who did not sell, if you've sold, you're going to wait a bit to see the ID price to go in. So that is what you want to do. So guys, we've actually looked at these core banks and see what they are doing. We talked about the loan they are holding. You combine everything, it's $4 billion, and you see how much each bank is currently holding. So this is just some tips for you to know what is going on. We looked at the circular that the government gave from CBN. We saw the suspend payment of dividends. So we are concerned at this suspending the payment of interim dividends. Just look at it and you've seen the amount. So except CBN will now give them, but what CBN said they have to pay the entire loan before they can actually do those payments. But let's see, maybe CBN will actually give them maybe opportunity or just some grace that okay, can pay 30% or that, just to sustain the price. But going forward, if there's no dividends, most of these banking stuff will actually come down. And it will be a buying opportunity, but it will be for a long time, 1 year, 2 years. So for me, check my portfolio, I don't have banking. Not that I don't like them or not, but I don't just trade them because to me they don't give me the profit I need. For example, Caverton got to 517 today. You can imagine just few steps to get to 6, and we are up 100% before pulling back. Of course, it was because of all these news that proved, because a lot of people want to take profits to also buy this, and they will be disappointed after the market closed down. After I bought, the thing was adding up, was coming up a bit before I bought, and now it's coming down again. Feel discouraged. Yeah, this thing is average down. So it's all about the market. Don't feel discouraged. We've been there. I've experienced some of all these stuff, so I know how I navigated and I've learned my lesson. That is what that's why most times, in fact, that's why I don't want it. But if you will tell me, I'll tell you just get one so that you know you'll be exposed to banking stocks. I pity those that have 7 stocks, 5 stocks, and they have fundamentally sound stock. Tell you Zenith, fundamentally sound, Access, UPA, and all their portfolio now. I can imagine how much they have right now in their portfolio. In fact, some of them will not open their portfolio again. In fact, some of them will not want to see Cardoso again. Say this man destroy my portfolio. So this past one, just a recap, some information you need to know and some definitions. Done that. So before we look at the all-share index, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified when my post and videos like this. So let's quickly jump and look at the all-share index before we call it a day. So let's jump to indices. Let's come to this part and let's look at all shares. So this is all share. Don't forget we look at the NGX, NGX Banking. So this is all share index. So guys, from what you're seeing, what can you say? We are still on track, guys. Everything is still fine. The market is still healthy. Nothing happened. Just this policy that affected the banking sector. We've looked at the NGX index and we've seen how it dips. We've located possible support area. So just in case you want to average down, you want to ensure that you're averaging down around that area. You know, averaging down, people think once the price dip, you buy. No, once the price gets to support, that is when you want to go. Because, for example, if you buy assets at 20 and you think you're averaging down, what if you now get to 16? So imagine you're now averaging down when you get to 16. That would be amazing. By the time you buy it, maybe 1, 2, 3, you find out that by the time you buy it 1, 2, 3, you find out that your cost price will be around that 20, 21. because you actually go in when it's cheaper. So we are still intact in the on-share index. Everything is still fine. We are still above 15, and still looking at the market. Next, by tomorrow, I'm expecting to see another bull in the market in other sectors, so to speak. Banking might be going up and down. You understand? And if you look at the previous video we did, which is this insider move that I told you, you observe that the banking sector, that is the NGX banking, actually reducing. You understand? And why the service sector is increasing. So I showed you guys, and that is what is happening. So follow up the money. That is some key things you need to check. So money will be leaving the banking sector now and be going to other sector. So which sector is it going to? Check the comment and join my group so that you know the sector the money is going to, so that will take position together. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that I get notified my post and reaching videos like this. Until we see you again, keep making money and keep protecting your profits and keep impacting your community. I love you, my friends, and there is nothing you can do about it. And to salute. See you in the next one.